This is my 2012 690 here, and I'm putting one of the Rade Garage tanks into it. I had quite a lot of trouble with it because it is the pre-ABS version, and the main mounting point for the ABS version doesn't exist on this motorcycle. So you have to use this U-shaped strap, and you have to request it from them by telling them that it's going to be a non-ABS version. But the box that I got it in didn't have any instructions, and they didn't have any instructions on the website either. So I'm just going to go over some things quickly here. These are the mounting points. Those are the original mounting points for the original airbox. And this thing has an orientation to it, which is that when it's in there, this part here has to be towards the flat direction. If you put it in the other way, it'll be kind of a knife edge like this, and it won't work. You can also see that I had to bend this quite a bit, bending both this joint here and bending this one and sort of twisting the whole thing before I could get the tank in low enough that it would fit under the seat. The seat wouldn't close. I had to force the seat down, and that wasn't good. So, and then the next thing is that you need to use the longer of these two rear brackets. They give you two rear brackets. One of them has a shorter tang sticking off the back here than the other one, and the other one is for the ABS version, because the ABS version has a little S-shaped, just sort of a bent piece of sheet metal that sticks up here and holds the front of the tank. So one thing that concerns me a little bit is that the tank can rub on this, which is the top of the injector. And if you look at the tank itself, this right here is where that injector is touching. And then this here, you can see this shape here is to match the cutout of that, the shape of that bracket that's inside the frame. And then that's how the hose attaches. I have a KTM style quick release on the hose, so I can take the whole thing out. And then the tank it's just a little awkward holding the phone. I'm sure you understand. And the tank just fits down in here, however you can get it in there. And I can put the phone down for a moment. So now the tank is in there, and it's resting on that bracket. Well, I can't see how to show you that bracket. You can't see the bracket. But it's also resting on this one back here. And right there, in there, is the top of the injector. So I twisted this bracket up a little bit to make sure that the tank isn't resting on that injector, which I don't like the idea of. And the brass fuel fitting in the underside of the tank at the front goes in front of that U-shaped bracket, not behind it. So the U-shaped bracket is coming towards the rear of the bike in comparison to that fuel fitting. And then I also cut a hole in my seat and bent the upholstery around so that I can fill the tank without taking the seat off. And the whole thing fits together pretty well. So there you have it. This is a 2012 690 Enduro R. And let's see, here's where, okay, so this vent hose goes to the underside of their little airbox, and then my quick connect here, which I'll actually do up inside the frame here so that it's out of the way when I tip the bike over, which I do with unfortunate frequency. And there could be one of those 10 mil or 10 micron filters in there, but I have this coarser filter just to get dirt out, because there is the 10 micron filter in the fuel line that comes out of the main tank, as well as the 40 micron filter inside the tank. So this is just the first coarse filter, which is better than what you get out of the pump gas. And so there you have it. Screw clamps. I had to get some extra screw clamps. Their instructions say to mount this to a bolt in the frame, but that bolt in the frame, at least on my bike, is holding the master cylinder reservoir for the rear brake. So I'm not mounting this fuel petcock there. That doesn't make any sense to me. So I just used a frame clamp here, and that's it. So stainless steel hose clamps, and under here, good to go. Okay, so couple other things. The kit that they sent me only came with 4 of these fuel clamps, which is the minimum you would need to attach the hose to the tank and down to the main tank with this petcock in place. But you also have 2 connections here to that hose, and that hose's connection to the underside of the airbox. And if you put in an inline filter and a quick connect like that, which I think is a real good idea, otherwise how are you going to take the tank out to service your valves or anything? So I end up needing 10 clamps, not 4. So you might take that into account before you get started. And if you're going to do the smart thing and replace your in-tank filter at the same time as putting the connector on, you'll need another couple of clamps to reconnect the fuel lines inside the tank, the high pressure fuel lines in the tank. So yeah, 10, 12 clamps, not 4. So I got this box of dozens of clamps. I guess I'll use them for other things because I don't have the tool to use the one-way squeezed together clamps that the fuel lines have inside the tank. Okay, so the other thing I did was I drilled a hole and tapped it for a small screw just to give me something to push on to get that fuel cap started, because Rade, in his wisdom, whatever that is, has his own thread. It's not the same thread as anything else. I don't even know what it is. He doesn't even know what it is, or at any rate wouldn't tell me when I asked. So, because I thought it would be a good idea to put a snorkel on this and bring the fuel connection up above the seat or outside the seat or something somewhere. But this is what I've done for now. So somebody else had done this, seemed easy enough. So that's just a little stainless screw into the aluminum to make it easier to get it off. And then I can put a tank bag on the front here. And if I have my Moscow Moto bags sitting on the back here, which is covering the end of the seat, but they have a hole to get to this cap, I don't have to take the seat off to fill this tank, which seems like a real deal killer to me. I don't want to have to dismantle my motorcycle if I need to get extra fuel for a long section, or if I've just used up all of my fuel for a long section. Yeah, I don't want to have to take everything apart. So being able to get at this without removing the seat is critical for me. And that's it. Yeah, clamps, spacing, proper orientation of the brackets, various attachment points, getting the tank low enough, a hole in the seat. I don't know. I can't think of anything else. If you have any questions, you're welcome to ask in the comments below.